Film Review! Back in early April 2016, Disney released their live-action remake of The Jungle Book. A little over 2.5 years later, Netflix released Andy Serkis's movie adaptation, Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle. Though there has been a healthy amount of time between the two movies, it still felt too soon to release two different properties of what is essentially supposed to be the same story type. However, one thing that I have noticed about the differences of these two movies is that though they have the same characters and they are both CGI live action, they are very different stories. One being a recreation of the cartoon classic and the other being faithful to the original source material. This isn't supposed to be a which is the better Jungle Book movie like a bunch of other videos that have been made already, but this is going to be more of a comparison movie review as opposed to which is better, which I'll explain later. Disney's The Jungle Book was directed by Jon Favreau and introduces new actor Neil Sethi, who plays Mowgli, the young boy of the jungle. In this rendition of The Jungle Book, Mowgli grew up being raised by wolves. Realizing by his peers that he cannot live like a wolf, he struggles to find his identity and place in the jungle. That is when Bagheera, played by Ben Kingsley, offers to take him to the Man Village, where Mowgli is originally from. They run into issues along the way as Mowgli is also being hunted by the man-hating tiger Shere Khan, who was brilliantly played by Idris Elba. Mowgli, like the original Disney classic, meets friends and enemies along the way, which include the lazy easygoing Baloo, played by Bill Murray, the seducing and hypnotizing python Kaa, played by Scarlett Johansson, and the giant menacing king of the Bandalog, King Louie, played by Christopher Walken. Such rich characters with an amazing cast brings together such a magical interpretation of the beloved early 60s cartoon. The stunning CGI makes the animals look spectacularly real, while at the same time not compromising the scenes, taking focus off the only live-action part about this movie, which is Mowgli. Everyone does so well in their respected roles and seemed intentionally cast as their parts. It is hard to see these characters be played by any other actor because these voice performances set a standard for what we know as the Jungle Book story. Though being what for me feels like a masterpiece of a film, it also has its inconsistent flaws. This movie was supposed to be like the original animated film, but a fresh new take. Though there is a bare necessities song sung by Baloo and Mowgli, it did feel right with the film as it wasn't necessarily supposed to be a musical. But later in the film, King Louie sings I Want to Be Like You. It was oddly placed as it was the second and last song of the film. Though it was fun to watch and it was supposed to be a bit of fan service, it just didn't fit. The song later plays in the credits, but honestly, I wish they kept it in the credits like they did with Kaa's Come With Me song. If this movie was supposed to be a musical, then make it a consistent musical. If it wasn't supposed to be, then Bare Necessities should have been the only song in the film. Overall, I remember seeing this movie and being encouraged for the trend of Disney reboots. When they announced Jon Favreau was going to direct the Lion King CGI remake, I was even more happy. There are correct ways of telling a story that has been told in a different style, and that is what makes Andy Serkis's Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle, even more unique. Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle is a much darker take on the Jungle Book story. It is a similar story of Mowgli trying to find his place in the jungle, but they focus more on him trying to fit with the pack of wolves in this movie. Though it is a similar story that Mowgli progresses and transitions to human society, one thing is for sure, most of the characters in this movie are very different from their Disney counterparts. Mowgli, played by Rohan Chand, is a courageous and determined character as he proves that though he may be different, he has the best interest of the jungle at heart. Baloo, played by the director of the film, Andy Serkis, is still considered lazy, but at the same time serves as a strict teacher of the wolves of the jungle. Shere Khan, brilliantly played by Benedict Cumberbatch, is not the strongest tiger around, but he is the most dangerous as he dishonors the laws of the jungle. Kaa, played by Cat Blanket, plays a more mysterious and morally blended character. The only character that seemed pretty much the same was Bagheera, played by Christian Bale. He is a caring character that just wants the best for Mowgli, one who would risk their life in order to care for Mowgli. This movie has stunning visuals, and Andy Serkis, known for his face-capturing career, implements this into all the CGI characters of this movie. One thing, however, that was bumming me out before I saw the movie was that some of the visuals looked just alright, but not as realistic in my opinion to the Disney adaptation. Though I said this would be a comparison review, I wish I didn't have to compare. But how can you not when Hollywood came out with two movies that are so similar to each other in such a short period of time? I thought Baloo and Bagheera were pretty realistic. They look so tangible that you feel like you can touch them. However, the wolves on the other hand look really cartoony. This movie also suffered from pacing issues and not knowing exactly how to get the story moving to the next setting. 1 minute Mowgli is in with the wolves, the next he's in the man village, and vice versa. The jungle and the man village are supposed to illustrate two different worlds. But you can't show that if all Mowgli has to do is walk 100 yards in either direction. The way I can describe that the pacing is bad is because, say you go to the bathroom in the middle of the film. By the time you come back, you will be confused because the environment is constantly changing. The issue only comes from trying to fit too much into a movie, and instead of letting scenes resonate so by the time you come back from the bathroom, you just miss some dialogue. Does this illustration make sense? Other than that, the acting was incredible all around. The actor who plays Mowgli does a fantastic job interacting with the people and the CGI characters. Christian Bale was awesome, Benedict Cumberbatch was awesome, and Andy Serkis was awesome as well. Between the two movies, though they surround a similar story, both are completely different and are made for different audiences. Disney's Jungle Book is supposed to be like the animated classic, while Mowgli is a dark telling of the original novel. I'm not just saying that because I read that on some blog or saw it in some video, but I started reading the book to see it for myself. 19th century Old English and all. I read it and the movie does it justice. Besides the comments I made about Mowgli, I feel like it didn't get good reviews because it was probably compared to the Disney movie, even though the story is really well done for the most part. Regardless, one can probably say which is a better movie objectively by judging cinematography, acting, directing, and writing. But something that many reviewers keep doing is trying to determine which is the better Jungle Book movie. I believe that is very subjective because, like I said earlier, they are very different movies. One is based off a cartoon, the other is based off the novel. Not really sure what any of the other adaptations are about. But these things I know for sure. But I have to give scores. Disney's The Jungle Book gets a 9 man cubs out of 10, and Mowgli Legend of the Jungle gets a 7 monkey people out of 10. What did you think about either of these movies? Leave a comment or you can tweet me at Zaleman Productions. If you want to continue to support my channel, feel free to subscribe. Another way you can support my channel is donating to my Patreon. You can donate as low as $1 a month and all contributions will go back into improving the channel. It means a lot to me that you watched and I want to continue making reviews for your viewing pleasure. With that being said, take care and thanks for watching.